Live from New York, it's time to get behind the wheel and drive home your best deal with another podcast episode of Never Get Taken for a Ride Again, where we stop car dealers dead in their tracks from trying to blow smoke up your tailpipe every time you go to buy or lease a new vehicle. Now, your host, professional car buying expert, and the car buyer's advocate, Paul Maloney.
Hey, g'day there, everybody in New York and in the lower 48 states, or wherever you might be listening around the world. This is going to be a first of many shows we're going to be bringing to you over the next coming months. Hopefully, it's going to be a weekly show or twice a week. It's for all brand new car buyers that have been to the dealerships and been put through the ringer and haven't had any experience or any knowledge on how to find out exactly how to go about purchasing a vehicle without getting ripped off, so to speak. So the brand new show is going to be called Never Get Taken for a Ride Again. Each week, we're going to have sales managers, finance managers, and customers telling their real life stories about exactly what goes on when you go to a dealership, and you can hear from their stories live what they've been through, and I'm sure that you can relate to it at the same time also. So if we can build some clarity, and I'll teach you over the coming weeks exactly what to say when you go in there, you shouldn't be having any problems in the future from purchasing the vehicle. It's not a hard thing to do once you know exactly how the magician's trick is done. And we're looking forward to many different things. We're going to be able to have people that can be able to, I'm going to say phone in their questions. They're going to be able to email us in there or text us in the comments section down there. I haven't done one of these before, so I'm still learning. It looks easy, but it's not, I guess, once you first start. Like I guess from like buying a car, you don't know what it is until you get out there and you really try to have somebody help you. But I do have some help here. I have a guest of mine, it's a very good friend of mine, and also she is a car buyer herself, just as of recent with her daughter, and she's a good friend of mine. I'd like to bring her to the show right now. Her name is Linda Sunshine West. Where are you, Linda? Are you there?
I'm here, but I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
You just need to speak up there a little bit, love. How are you today?
Okay, I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Good day, mate.
Linda is a great friend of mine, and she is an entrepreneur of entrepreneurs, and I'll let her give a little bit more intro about herself because she will be able to tell you more detail than I can. You'll probably be able to understand her better than my accent anyway. It's all yours, Linda.
Well, thanks for having me on the show, Paul. I know this is your first one. I'm honored to be the first. So one of the things I've done is I've done over 4,000 videos. So this is like nothing for me. So I'm glad to see you doing it, jumping into the live video arena. It's a lot of fun. But what I'm really known for is helping women to have their voice seen and heard. Well, have their face seen and their voice heard by putting them on stages, getting them on, podcast shows like this, interviews and what have you. That's my favorite thing to do because I feel like a lot of women have been stifled, for so many years, and it's time for them to share their voice.
No, absolutely, in more ways than one. And it's funny that you should say that because I feel that being over the 20-something odd years of being in the auto industry, women, especially when they go into automobile dealerships, expect the worst and they think the worst, and pretty much 90% of the time the worst does happen, and they come out of there with horror stories. And it's a terrible thing to see, not just in the auto industry, but anywhere what you go, where you see where you go. But what we are talking about this afternoon, or this evening, I should say, is exactly going to put a nail in their coffin from being able to put one over on women, and as well as anybody else that's purchasing the vehicle. But more so, this is a great scene because just recently you had bought a vehicle with your daughter, correct?
Yeah, my daughter bought a vehicle. I went with her.
And it's funny, I'll just go back a little bit because before I was launching this book out, How to Beat the Car Dealership Every Time, how to beat the car deal every time. It's so simple, it's ridiculous. So many words to say. So Linda was helping me in getting the book out there, and also before I had finished writing the book, I wanted to run it by some people that I could trust as far as getting real feedback and not blowing smoke up my tailpipe, so to speak, no pun intended. So the feedback from Linda, as well as other female customers that I had, was pure energy, because they had actually used it when they went out there prior to me releasing it, and tested that actual book and how it works actually out. And you can tell me a little bit further on that, Linda.
Well, first I want to go back to you have some viewers watching here. Let's say hi to them.
Oh, I thought we said hello to them at the beginning. I did. I said good day and welcome to everybody.
No, but you want to say, so I'm going to give you just a little bit of tip here, because
I'm sorry. I can see some people down here in the lower left-hand side.
So this is Paul's first time using BeLive.tv, which is a little bit different than using a Facebook Live. So yeah, you get to see their names there. So Twisted Media is watching. And then
everybody's giving me the bird right now from not mentioning their name. That's what I think they can see me doing.
There we go.
Joe Pep from Every Car Has a Story. Mr. John Harrison from Twisted Media. Lamar, right. The Courtier Man of Courtier Men is the person that you need to go if you want to change your style and look like $1 million. He's the man to go and see. He took me out of a dumpster and made me look like this.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm sure he would probably have me wear a different hat. But I'll tell you a story. What happened, actually, it was about an hour and a half ago. I was doing a live video. Paul popped on. He saw I was there. And then he asked, hey, do you want to be on my video today? I'm like, sure. I'm wearing my goofy hat. Is that okay? He says, sure. Because this isn't how I normally dress for my videos. But I just wanted to say that, because sometimes there's some things in life that we need to do just because we need to jump on them. And this was one of those opportunities. I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So here I am today. So thanks again for having me here. I wanted to touch on, women, whether it's buying cars, maybe it's going to mechanic, what have you. And it's interesting because depending on our past, what kind of confidence level do we have going to either talk to a man to negotiate, or going into a situation like, buying a car or going to mechanic.
It's like a man going into a woman's department store looking for makeup.
Right. Because, the person on the other end.
You look real pretty or real ugly.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I don't know. He guess he could make him for himself. But, you can really be taken advantage of. So wherever you're going, like, if you don't have knowledge, right, you can be taken advantage of, whether you're a male or a female. It doesn't matter, because men who have never bought a car before, if they're going in for themselves the first time, then they can also be taken advantage of. So I have this I don't know. I have this weird view, maybe that's different than a lot of people, is like this male female thing. I don't think it has anything to do with male female. In my opinion, it has to do with human being. And so if a human being is not educated and they're going into a situation, they're not going to be able to come out fighting and winning for themselves. So to me, it doesn't have anything to do with male or female, but that's just the way I kind of see it. I see us as equal playing field.
No, that's absolutely correct, because I can look up something that I want to go and buy somewhere, and I'll look online and I'll say, look, this looks great. I'll look at the price. I'll look at everything. I'll go into the store and I will see that, but I'll see 10 other things that are the same, different price, different everything else. So whatever you prepared yourself for, it goes right out the window. And the reason is that we don't wake up one day and just say, oh shit, I'm going to go buy a bloody car today. It doesn't happen that way. We do all things on emotions. And we don't make any motions unless we are logical about it. And unless we find the logical situation, there has to be certainty. So if there's without certainty, okay, there's no logic, and there's the emotion, the whole connection doesn't come together. So that's where skepticism comes in, and people, they reel back and go like, I know I'm going to go swim with the sharks. I just know I just don't want to get all my legs bitten off. Maybe a toe I can lose, but the thing is when you go somewhere, it's an emotional purchase, and when you can do all your preparation, but it's a salesperson's job when you go in anywhere. I mean, I can walk into Fifth Avenue Macy's and literally have one foot in the revolving door stuck with 10 salespeople macing me with perfume going, can I help you? And I'm like, it's like that with you feel very, very violated at the same time. And you retract. So when all that emotion that you have has now gone back into, like, you've called in under a shell. So if you think you've remembered numbers, you've written them down somewhere, it's the salesperson's job is to get you up. Why are you in here today? Qualify with you in that 60 seconds to know, like, what are you in here for? Who's the vehicle for? Oh, who's the lucky person today? they're all pre-qualified questions that you don't even know. They're qualifying you in 60 seconds to know how and what they're going to do with you next. So the main thing is, oh, look, it's a birthday, or we need a second car for our daughter going to school. They're going to play on that emotion. Well, I can see her driving up there. They're planting that emotion, that seed in your head. So when you get drunk on emotion, okay, and you have salespeople intoxicating you with numbers, okay, you're the perfect candidate to wake up the next day and wake up in the corner of Byers Remorse Boulevard and Sucker Street and say, like, how the bloody hell did I end up here? And it's not just with automobiles, it's like with anything we buy. So
yes,
if we know exactly how to approach these things going in, like you said, we feel vulnerable going into places we don't know. If we know exactly how to go in there, exactly what to say without getting the emotional side of it all wound up, because once you have that, the logic goes right out the window, and you try to recruit that with certainty, it's just not going to happen.
Well, if you put a post out there, I've seen this post. It's always kind of fun to watch it. People do this post frequently, and that's like, how many of you have gone into Costco and walked out spending less than $1,000? You know, and the answer is usually not me, not me, not me, not me. Because what happens is they go in there to buy the hot dog, and then they end up buying a large screen TV and buying a bunch of other stuff. So it's just like you're saying, it's based on emotion, right? So there's some kind of emotional stuff that's going on, and we're going to buy based on emotion. It's just natural. It's human nature. Right. So what I do, Paul, when I go into a situation like that, I'll talk about that first, because we're not, instead of the car buying, just because we're talking about small scale. Car buying is big. Home buying is
the biggest purchase you'll buy next to a home.
Exactly. So if you're talking about even just looking at the smaller level of purchasing, if you're going into a grocery store and you walk in there with a list, 9 times out of 10, you will follow almost all of your list.
100%. I have to do it.
Right. You have to walk in. So if you walk in there without an intention of knowing exactly what you're going to buy, you're probably going to walk out of there and you're going to say, oh, crap, I didn't need this or that or this or that. You're going to buy a bunch of stuff you didn't need because there were some emotions going on while you were grocery shopping. It's just as simple as that. So what I like to do is when I go shopping, because I'm not really a person who really likes shopping. I don't like to spend my time in stores just like looking around and stuff. Right. And so I'm not the stereotypical woman, So I'm like, okay, I want a blue blouse. So in my mind, I 100% am looking for only a blue blouse. And I walk out with a blue blouse or nothing. And so it's the same thing like when you're going to buy a car. You know exactly what kind of car you buy. And then with Paul's program, you're going like reading his book, having this program, it really helps because you know what questions they're going to ask you. And then you can do that preemptive strike. That's where you get them. It's like,
exactly. It's because look, when you go out shopping, you go, you have your list, but if you went out without that list right there and then, you're going to remember in your head before you leave, I know what I'm going to get. As soon as you walk through the department store, you grab your shopping cart, you're like, bloody hell, what aisle did I need to go to? You remember most of the things because you normally go there, but if you don't go there with a list, you're not going to be designated to go anywhere. You're going to be wandering around like a person in the dark. So if people, the way they have been taught to purchase vehicles over the years has just been so, well, for what people would know and what they had access to would get them so far. But unfortunately, when you walk in the door, it's completely the opposite because salespeople don't care. The car dealership doesn't matter if you get a price from untruecar.com, which is just a car broker, which we used to sell to when we had fleet. That's just a number to get you in the door. When you go in and sit down and go like, yes, Mr. Jones, or yes, Linda, we can help you with that, they're going to write that deal up and you're going to go, aha, this is great. And I say to people like, look, that's the part where you should be getting ready to get uncomfortable because I said, you haven't met the pimp daddy of the car dealership, the business manager. I said, because he's the person you're going to lose all the dollar bills out of your back pocket with and come home with nothing. Because I said, you're going to go in thinking you have a car payment. You're going to walk out with a mortgage payment. If you're not guided the right way, these things will happen. Not 20%, not 80%. They will happen 100% of the time because those guys have to live on a commission as on a base salary of like $200 or $300. And then they have to buy, if they want to keep their job, they have to make a sales of between a minimum of $800 going upwards to thousands. So you might not think that that's happening to you, but it happens to everybody. The most skeptical of people that say, I know exactly, they're never going to get me when they go in there. They they qualify you in such a way that they go like, we know how he is going to be. Let's go about him with a different approach, and you'll never find out.
So how can you go in knowing 100% that you're getting the best deal? You know, because I understand they have to make money. It's
Right.
the business.
Exactly.
They have to make money.
Exactly.
It's all about, we all need to make money.
The dealership will make money no matter what the deal is. We would never let a vehicle go out without not making money. It was just if that was going to be the case, you'd let it go. You'd sell it to one of the rental car companies, and they would just buy it at wholesale, and just get rid of the vehicle. It's just not worth it. But every vehicle, gets turned like old milk in the shelf when you go to the supermarket from the front to the back. So a good inventory manager, knows when to turn what vehicles, when to lower the prices and everything else like that. But going in there is no way on the internet you can actually go and get your price checked. You don't have the software. You're not a licensed deal like a broker, a concierge, or a fleet or whatever, like how we are licensed. So there's nowhere where you can go on the internet and get that checked. So I put this book together for the simple reason is that, like, I give you a cheat sheet. You walk in, you fill it out. It tells you exactly what to ask for. When you're done with that, you send that back in. We run it through our system, and it will come up like an X-ray machine at an airport and say, bing, 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 you're being charged for this, undercharged for that, overpriced for this. It's a computer printout chart, and I'll just bring it up here and I'll show you. I'll just drop out of the picture here for a second.
Just so you know, if you can hear me, Paul, when you drop out of the picture, nobody can hear you. So I guess I'll go ahead and lead this part because
there you go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, when you drop down, nobody can hear you. Just want you to know that. But you can send me down, or you can show just the screen.
Actually, you know what? I'll just drop you down there for a second so people can understand a little bit better here. Okay, so what you do is when you use the car price check, use the car price check book that's in here, gives you the car price check. I'm sorry, the cheat sheets. I'm confusing myself for a second. I'll start over again. When you get the book to use and you go into the car dealership, it gives you the cheat sheets that are foolproof. Like I said, you fill them out and everything else. When you finish filling them out and you followed exactly what it has to say, the simple steps, you then send it back into us and we will run it through, and then we will check it out to see exactly how much money they're making or they're not making on the vehicle. And if you look on the right-hand side of my screen or your left-hand side, whichever side it is there that's on your screen, it shows a full detailed disclosure report. It tells you exactly what the vehicle was, what it started for as far as the window sticker price, the residual value, all the other stuff that's in there that you will never be disclosed unless you work at a dealership or we license like how we are. So you get that full report back. And when you get that full report back, you're going to look now and say like, aha, this is how much they were making. They told me that was their best deal. At that point in time, you can either use our service and say, listen, we will offer you and say like, listen, if you wanted to use the rest of our service, the difference of the $200 or whatever it is, we will be able to help you, okay, through our service, get you a better deal than that, including the price of what you already paid for the service. So not only are you beating it by $200 or $300, whatever we have the service on sale for, but you don't have to go back to the car dealership. You know now it's all out in front of you. It's in full transparency for you, which we all want. Drop this other one down. I lost that other one. I came back there. Can you? I'll bring you back up for a second, Linda. I'll just drop this down. Let me get rid of this. Okay, and I get rid of that. I wasn't sure if you could still hear me. That was the same time. But once you have somebody that gives you the knowledge and just simple instructions to follow without deviating from it at all, because it's like going down somebody gives you directions and to go from A to B, and you start following. And on the way along the road, you go, oh, hi, honey, look at that side street there. Let's look at that thing over. Now, before you know it, you're lost. And to find yourself to get yourself way back on where you're supposed to be again, it's going to cost you, something like, Family Vacation. When the movie come around, they're going through, the dark sheets of Chicago, and you lose. But you get so far lost, you don't know where to start back on the road again. And by the time you end up back where you are,
by the time you end up back where you are, you're down in the lobby, and then you come back.
You've spent more money than you've known to God. But like I said, is that people get drunk on that emotion. And if you keep yourself clear of that, like I say to my clients all the time, I say, look, we're like going to your accountant to get your taxes done. You spend a little to save a lot. So, but in order for the accountant to save you money, he needs the numbers to work with. So in the book, that's what it gives you. It gives you the cheat sheets. Actually, I'm going to bring one up so you can just look on the screen. Just let me just drop down here for.
You can't drop down because when you drop down, we can't hear you. Just so you know. Let's see, finance deal with trade-in, cash.
That actually tells you. I'm just going to drop you down there for 1 second, Linda.
Okay.
1 second. Bear with me. Okay. Sorry about that. These are the cheat sheets they give that I've given out. That's in the book here. It's a sample. It's for leasing, it's for financing, and it's for anybody paying cash as well as trade-ins. It comes with the simple scripts. It's on your iPhone, so you can't mess it up. It actually acts like a calculator. So when you're actually sitting at the desk, asking for the salesperson to give you the sheet of paper that they never want to give you, and even if it does, it ends up by the time you get home, the sales managers disappear and ink is gone from the paper anyway, so you don't know what the freaking price was. So you can discreetly keep it on your phone. You can ask them, say, okay, Mr. Bob, the car salesman, how much is this? Da 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 da. You put it in the box, and these on the screen here, it's highlighted. I can show you, I think, with my mouse. I don't know if it shows up on the screen. It tells you exactly what to ask for, and you can compare all your models side by side. Once you've done that, you then send it to us and we check it out for you. But it gives you the simple scripts that are in there at the same time. So, I mean, you can't mess it up. They're power words that you take control. They empower you. So I always like to say to people, like, look, we put you in the driver's seat so the car salespeople can't take your wallet for a test drive. And that's pretty much what it does. It immobilizes them so they can't do anything anymore. And, Linda, are you there? Are you still there? Good. Hang on 1 second. Yeah. I'm sorry to drop you down. Let me get back up there.
He's still figuring this stuff out. So
here we go. Okay. Sorry about that. You there?
Hey, he's doing it, you guys. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
I got a picture of you. Let me just see you there again, Linda.
So he can't hear.
Let's drop you down for 1 second.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, you there? I can see your pretty face.
I can hear you. So I'm not sure why it's not working.
I think we just got a still picture of you. I'm sure we'll try and get you back there, Linda. Okay. But in any case, like I was just saying there, I'll just get out of here for 1 quick second. Like I was saying to everybody, when you go to purchase a vehicle, you got to be careful. You got to be educated. There's way too many things on the internet today that will teach you or tell you, or this thing on YouTube's or whatever, saying, oh, we got these exotic car hacks, or we got this, or we got that. Look, numbers don't lie. I've been doing this for 25 plus years. Look, everybody has got a story. Everybody's got to tell you something. But in actuality, if you use your calculator, 2 and 2, no matter how far you try and hit it every time, it's not going to add up to 5. So numbers are never going to lie. So it's like I said, it's like purchasing your house. Go get a professional opinion. Go get somebody else to check it out before you sign somewhere, because it may just be costing you not only hundreds, but thousands of dollars that you're not even aware of, that you're not even be able to have access on the internet anywhere. Like some of these places will tell you that, but in all actuality, all they're doing is taking your name, taking your address, and that address that you're giving to them with all that information. Oh, I see Linda's back again. 1 second, love. Let me just bring you up into there. You're back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Success.
I was just saying to people, I just like, how we're just reiterating about before about using the book and using the simple steps. I mean, it's like anything you buy. Don't rush into something. If somebody says to you, listen, we can make the numbers be what you want, you can take it home today. The only reason they're going to say to you, take it home today, is because if they let you out, they know they're never going to see you again, because you're going to go right to the next dealership and they're going to go, aha, this is how much they gave. And you don't even have to tell them. They're going to get it out of you whether you like it or not without you even knowing. So you'll never see that client again. So if somebody says to you, we can send you home that day in it, run, because that's when buyer's remorse will set in the next day. And then you will figure out, like, how much do I really pay for that vehicle? Wouldn't it be nice to know before you sign anything that.
Well, I have a question for you. Okay, so because you have all the information, it's on our phone and stuff. Why be discreet? Why not just say, "Hey, I've got this great app that's going to help me through this process. I'm going to make sure I get the best deal." Why not just go in that way? I just have a question on that because I'm very direct, and I want to. I don't want to have all this game. Like I don't want to play games.
It's the whole thing though. When you go in there, it's a daily thing for them, an hourly thing, a minutely thing for who we're going to qualify, who if they're going to be a buyer, they're not going to be a buyer. So unless it's like going to a knife fight with a toothpick. If you go in there, like, I'm humble, I don't want to play this game. It doesn't matter to them. Look, they'll hang their mother out to dry. And I've seen that happen. It's just like, it's all about how many cars we can sell. It's how much we can turn you upside down and make out of you. If the car salesperson's being nice to you, it's only because he's hit your sweet button on your emotional side that he's playing on that, is going to intoxicate you with those numbers. And it's their job to do that. And if you're liking him, then he's doing his job by listening and tuning in on exactly what you're doing. It's not a love fest when you go there. Don't think for a minute that anybody, they were such a good salesperson. It's like going on stage. You put on your stage face. That's what it is. You're on show. So when you're there, be prepared because, like I said, you think the salesperson is going to be bad. Wait till you get to the business manager's office. That's where the real money is made. So people going in, say, I got the best price. They're like, sure. Yeah, go see the business manager. He's the pimp daddy. When you come out of there, we'll see how much money you don't have left. And that's what will happen. So with the education of somebody can give you that, you can go and you can absolutely go and get it checked out before you go and purchase or lease or whatever. Nobody's made it available. And for 20-something years, I want to be able to give back for what I've been able to learn and have other clients and be big box stores we used to sell to, and the corporate CEOs that come and buy their purchases through us. I ended up creating a network, just like with you also, is that we end up becoming friends with these people as in businesses that we refer business to them. They revert business back to us, and it becomes a great networking circle that you entrust with people, and especially with in my business. I mean, it's so diverse. You don't know who's going to walk in the door next. So we're always working and open to what their business is, what they're about, and what's the true value of what they're looking for. What's their why is what you really want to know in anything that you sell. So if I just want to slow people down. It's not the last car on the lot. It's not the last day of the month. If anybody tells you that, please look. Don't believe it. Just 100% don't believe it. And if you're shopping the last day for something and shame on you, because then things do happen to the last day. You make mistakes, you rush into things, and that's when you're like, oh my God. These things happen. They're coming up. Don't with an automobile, because a salesperson will smell you coming a mile away. It's like blood in the water to a shark.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, because I do hear those things, it's the end of the year, it's the best time to buy because they're trying to get rid of their inventory. They say it's the end of the month, it's the best time to buy because they're trying to get rid of their inventory. And you're saying that's bullshit? No.
It's true.
Oh.
I mean, no, it's the end of the month and everything else like that, of course. But when they say, you have to take it home today, you don't have to take it. All car sales manufacturers programs normally run a day or two into the new month. Very rarely it'll end the same right off the cutoff. It just doesn't really happen. By the time they sign up, send all the deals into the bank and approvals and come back, it's a couple of days to time that stuff up. So if somebody says, it's the last day of the month, bullshit. It's not. You got a few more days over. Look, 20-something odd years, I've never seen them go once over unless it's fell on a Christmas day or something, or some ridiculous date that it just happened to, like a Haley's Comet come around. But it's just one of those things that doesn't happen. So if anybody's trying to sell you a sense of urgency to send you home in something, stop, hold the reins. It's a scare tactic. That's
their sense of urgency, not yours. And
that's their playbook. So if you're going to go in there, why not have all the answers ready for the questions they're going to ask you? So now you're putting them parking them at their sales desk, okay, and asking them the necessary information you'll need to accelerate the process, so they won't be able to take your wallet for a test drive. And they're going to come out going like, oh my God, how did you know how to ask for that? Since that book has been out, Linda, I've had a lot of female clients come back and say, we walked in there sort of intimidated, Paul, but when we started asking, following the book for what it was on our phone, they said, you should have started seeing the look on their faces. They're like, how did you know how to ask for this? Do you work in the auto? Do you work in the auto industry business? Because nobody really knows how to ask for this stuff. And they've even had sales managers come over, and at the end they've said, like, listen, we have to give you the numbers because that's what you really do need. And they are right. We do have to disclose those if we want to see you back, or otherwise we know that you're going to shake your hand and go and say goodbye and go to somewhere else because you've already been coached, trained to know exactly what to come in and say. And once they know that, they're not going to start bullying you anymore. They're going to respect and go like, hang on a second, we know we're not going to BS her in any way. So they know what they're talking about. So let's not have egg on our face and humiliating ourselves just for a couple of dollars here, or try to pull one over on somebody that's smarter than what we thought that we know. So I want to be able to give that to people, and that's why the book became a #1 bestseller in 7 different categories I didn't know. For those reasons, is because it did its job. So
right. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I think it's really important for people to be able to have that upper hand, when they're buying something, whether it's a house or a car or just any major purchase, especially because when we walk in there blind, then we're just giving it up.
Right, exactly. And a lot of people, when they say buyers are liars, buyers are liars in things that we go into that we want to purchase, but we don't know the actual cost of something. So we'll take a jot and go like, you know what? I know I can get that for less money than at like $20,000 or whatever. Because you're only trying to deflect what they're trying to throw at you by saying, oh, it's $30,000. Well, no, I can only pay 20. You're trying to gauge somewhere, even though you don't know, you're still trying to play along to see, wow, I didn't know I could hit them that low. They actually went lower than what I originally was going to think, but still not going to know exactly what that price is. It's nice to know and have a comforting feeling when you purchase a vehicle. It's the second biggest purchase and an emotional one at that you know exactly, look, this is what I paid for it. There's no smoke and mirrors. It's here. It's in black and white. It's on my phone. I've got it checked. I've got a car price check report for it. And all I have to do is say, listen, they can go back and renegotiate at the car dealership if they want. They still won't end up with that price going out there because you'll still have to deal with the business manager, and they will always sell you something 100% of the time. Or you can use our service for the difference of what it is. Even though that you will use our service, it's the $300 total. What will happen is that we still have to beat your deal by $300 on top of what you already had. So it works out for you nothing. And people go, well, how do you get paid? Well, we still get paid the same way we've always got paid, through the manufacturer, like we've been doing fleet forever. Nothing's changed. It's just we've opened up that door for you to now be able to use. So, people say, what's the catch? I say, well, the catch is if you go back to the dealership and you play your own game, cast your own net, you will end up getting hooked. So what we try to do is, like we said, educate people. I'm going to be bringing real customers on, like yourself. I'm going to have car sales managers, finance managers that I've worked with in the business for 20-something odd years. They still work in the business, so they won't have their pretty mugshot on there like yours. They'll be just having a silhouetted black head there, like they're in the witness protection program.
All right.
They will tell you exactly what I am trying to reiterate to you right out there now. Whoever's listening, is that if you're looking to purchase a vehicle, just retreat a little bit, take your time. But they will tell you, the business managers, they'll tell you exactly how they get around it. They'll tell you exactly the tricks of the trade, or exactly what I've been telling you. But I will also be asking them one-on-one exactly how it is. So then you can sit back and make your own decision, because it's better to have it out there and with transparency. I like to have a real show, because people hear the real emotions in the person buying the car, or if they've had a story there that they've been taken advantage of. I want to be able to answer that question for them, as well as everybody else out there that's listening, that says, you know what, hey, that's happened to me. You know what, I can relate to that. I'd like to know exactly how to get around that or deal with that up front so it doesn't happen to me again. And it gives people that confidence to go out somewhere, not just with purchasing the vehicle, but purchasing other things at the same time. Writing my book, I taught myself how to go out and retrain my brain of things that I've learned to apply to other things out there. And it's amazing the little things that you can pick up and learn from yourself unknowingly in your own subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I have a question. What would be the number one tip you would give people? You know, like I know you, like you have the book and everything, but like what would be the number one tip you would have for people? I know go educated, but like, okay, the number two tip that you would have for people.
Well, it's actually three parts to be simple with it. Is whatever vehicle you're looking for to lease or purchase or finance or whatever, go online, go to the manufacturer's website. It says Toyota, Mercedes, whatever. Go to the website. You can build your own vehicle. I mean, you can go right on there, whatever equipment you want in there, look it up, and it'll tell you exactly a printed out manufacturer's suggested price on there. Then look wherever you're going to be registered or residing with the vehicle. Look in your local dealerships around their inventory to see what comes up closely matched to that vehicle. It's very hard to find two exact vehicles match up the same with what you want, somebody else might not want. Look at those deals, then go in there and say, look, I'd like to make an appointment to test drive the vehicle, because cars are like shoes. They look good, you try them on, you walk 10 feet and they don't fit you good, and you have to return it. Cars you can't return. Once you own it, once you have it, you own it 3 years or wherever. So when you go in there, it's nice to have the information, because when you go in there, it's not like renting a car, it hurts. It's just like, oh, here's the keys, goodbye, have a nice day. They're going to go out, they're going to pick on your emotion, they're going to try and get you back all emotionally about it, meet you back at the desk, and then come in and try and close. That's their whole deal. So when you go in there, it's nice to have something prepared, because it will happen 100%. If somebody let you in for a test drive and didn't bring you back into the dealership, that salesperson would be going home asking that customer for a ride home because they just got fired. So don't think it's not going to happen. It will. So knowing to go in there, having the right directions before you take off on your trip, you won't get lost. The directions are right there in front of you. If you don't follow the directions, you will get lost. So it gives you empowerment, it gives you clarity, and it gives you confidence. And once you have that information, take it back for the night. Look at it and say, you know what, honey, did we make the right decision here? You know what, I know you have a question. I have a question. You know what? Screw it. Let's go get the car price check, and we'll satisfy our curiosity, because otherwise there's no way for us to know, and then we'll make our decision from there. And then, in the meantime, they've got the car price check from us, but we also give them, a 10, 15-minute free consultation on, say, look, here's your options on what to do. It's up to you what you want to do. We're not here to sell you a vehicle. We're just here to help you lease or purchase one. So whichever way you go is entirely up to you. But we will show you openly with your report, this is what you got. Now you can make your final decision. And it should be an enjoyable one. I mean, you're purchasing a vehicle. You want to be driving. You want to feel great. That's what the whole purpose about it is. What's your why? Why did I go and buy that vehicle? Was it because I was going away on a new trip? I just wrote a best-selling book like the one you just have. It's just like one of those things. But withdraw with the emotion and let the logical side of it take effect. Like with somebody that is a professional like myself, ask us. That's what we're here for. You're not going to go to court without a lawyer. You're not going to overtalk your lawyer. You're not going to overtalk your tax accountant. So it shouldn't be any different from when you purchase a vehicle. God forbid, if you're taking trust in the car salesperson, the person that you are most skeptical about the most, then you deserve what's coming your way. So slow it down. Like I said, in the next few episodes coming up, we'll be able to walk you through and show you exactly what it is, and you'll be amazed and blown away by exactly what really does go on behind doors.
Well, I'll tell you just a quick story, because I know you wanted to talk about as a car buying experience. As a female, I did go to buy a car. I knew exactly what I wanted, but I walked onto the lot and I said, I want the least expensive car you have on the lot, and I'll drive out with it. Like, I'll pay cash. So I walked out there and they showed me the car, took it for a drive, came back. I was like, okay, sold. And then as they were going to write up everything, I was just kind of glancing around. I found one that was $3,000 cheaper.
Right.
Or less expensive.
Right.
And so I told the guy, I said, I'm walking out of here. You lied to me. I came in here. I told you exactly what I wanted, and you lied to me. You found me a different car, and I'm walking out of here. So I walked out of there. I did not buy a car that day, because I knew what I wanted was the least expensive. That's all I wanted. Just a car to drive around,
Yeah. It's like, if it sounds too good to be true, you know the saying, but it's a business. It's a reputation that's not going to go away. The car business doesn't have to change their way, is for the simple reason is You can't go on the internet and drive a car. You have to go in there sooner or later and buy a car.
Yeah.
I mean, 90% of people do. The 10% that don't, I don't know what they're thinking. But you have to go in there. So when you go in there, be prepared. You are at a loss 100%. So when you go in there, it's nice to have that, no, I don't want to say that security blanket, but that knowledge that you can use when you go in there and say, aha, I'm going to do this. You can, once you do it once, it's not going to change the way cars are. You can use it time and time again. Tell your friends, whatever, and you'll go, oh my God, I would never buy a car any other way again from that. That's the one biggest thing we hear from our new clients. We wish we heard about this a long, long time ago. But yeah, I sort of filled a void when I saw all these things on the internet saying, oh, look, like untruecar.com. I don't care if they're listening or who they are. They're not, because we used to sell vehicles to them. I mean, they come under scrutiny because of the dealers. They weren't letting them have their money. And so then what they have to do was then drop without saying, this is the actual selling price of the car, and go in, then they can't make a dime on it. So that's where that tsunami wave decided to come in. Oh, this is what the average person pays, because now, they can't let them out and say this is what the exact number is, because the dealership then could not make a dime. So then people started to catch on to this and say, like, oh, you know what? They're actually part of it, because we are giving our information to them. The dealer's then paying them to give the information. So in the deal itself, you are actually paying for it. And we used to cut them back a check for $500 going upwards, depending on what the vehicle is. I have files. I will find them, and I will show people online exactly how that system works. But in short, I think people start to get, they're not silly after a while. A good thing comes along for a little while, then it goes like, aha, we're onto that. It's a scam with this, it's a scam with that. This just stops them, everybody dead in their tracks. So there's no beating around the BS with it. And like I say, numbers don't lie, but salespeople, no matter what business it is, they will lie to you. Not so much in a way that they will lie flat out to you, but sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Over emotionalize on it, if that's a word, to get you more drunk on the feeling and the emotion and the scent of something. It's like a good thing that car salespeople used to do years ago is when they first come into a car dealership and you walk in through the door, we just lost Lynn, she'll come back, is that the first thing I do is like, ma'am, sir, how do you like this vehicle on the show floor? Why don't you take a seat in it? They do that deliberately so you get that new car smell, that aroma, that sense in you. So you ever go somewhere on a picnic or on a long drive somewhere and you smell like country air and you close your eyes and you imagine that feeling. It's the same with an automobile. People always go like, I want that new car smell still in my car. So as soon as you go in there, now your senses are taken over with the emotional side of it. So the logic actually goes out the window. So, you set yourself up for a series of things that most people don't even know that exist, that goes on behind the doors. So in any case, we lost Linda. We're going a little running a little over here on the time here. It's the first episode. It's going to be one of many more. Let us know in the comments below if you've had any car buying experiences that you did not like. You'd like to share them and be a guest on our show. We'd be more than happy to bring you on and see if we can help you out and answer your questions for you. And that's about it. I'd like to thank Linda for coming on the show and sharing her experience. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you next Thursday. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you next Thursday. Thanks. Hooroo. Till next time.